Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Welcome everybody. Glad to be here today with you. Looking forward to sharing with you around this whole pattern of unworthiness and where that comes from and how to work through that, and also to give you some channel messages to soak in the vibration of wholeness and worthiness, and to have you experience the worth that you are, so that you can serve your purpose in a deeper, more profound and amazing way, to experience your purpose, just even during this podcast, in a deeper and more profound way. It's all about that vibration, right? The energy frequency. So we'll work upon that through the channeled messages coming up. The first thing I want to do is just talk about this subject a little bit and flesh out the topic a little bit, talk about it a little bit, and then we'll take some time to do some channeled messages. So for those of us that are spiritual entrepreneurs and light leaders that are wanting to experience enormous amounts of connection, to be more centered and fulfilled than ever before, and simultaneously are wanting to serve that which we've come here to serve, and yet we have an experience of disconnection between the sense of inwardly of what you're here to do and the sense of doing it in a way that feels aligned for you, and it creates disconnections for you, including adding to this pattern of unworthiness. So in other words, let's say you've seen yourself on a stage talking to hundreds of people, or thousands, or stadium filled, or millions of people, or billions, or quadrillions of people at once, whatever amount it is. If you've seen that image, if you've seen it come to you again and again, you think about where you are today, and you wonder, well, am I really meant for such things? And part of your soul is like, absolutely. Another part of you says, who, me? Oh, I don't know about that. And then, there's different ways we might convince ourselves something is for us or isn't for us. So this is just one example. It could be raising your prices. It could be working with a new type of client. It could be around a more meaningful purpose to you at this point to serve as a light leader or spiritual entrepreneur. It could be bringing out more of yourself within your purpose, but something feels like, really, me doing that? And when we imagine trying to get there, we immediately feel a sense of separation, because we're not feeling like we're there now, right? So it's in time and space, right? So it feels like it's a future thing, right? It's not happening in TikTok time right now, right? So it exists somewhere else. And then our sense of worthiness becomes actually part of a question, that we allow it to be part of a question, right? So of course, the usual suspects are involved. You call it pain body, you call it your subconscious mind, you can call it your conditioned self, you can call it, all these different things, all these different terms we call it. And then we have to look at what creates all that. And then we have at a minimum, we have our past in this life, right? So we have all those things that have been heaped into our conditioned self. And so he said, well, based on my conditioned self, am I worthy to be able to lead in this way or to do this thing or to raise up to this level? And the answer is absolutely not, typically, unless you have a really more wonderfully conditioned self that has a very high opinion of itself, which happens sometimes. But I find for light leaders and spiritual entrepreneurs, usually is not the case. Usually it's sense of worthiness is not fully there for doing your work, especially at the next level. So we have this thing that we're dealing with. This is where pretty soon we'll bring in the guidance, see what guidance has to share about this, because there is a space that transcends the sense of our past, transcends the sense of I've got to get there. Therefore, what do I have to do? Am I going to have to do something that's going to make me worthwhile enough to allow that to happen? Are people even going to want to hear from me at that level? Or how's it going to go if I launch that new thing? Is anybody even going to be interested? Or am I kidding myself? And all that sort of stuff. So we could give it different labels. One is the sense of unworthiness. But my proposition to you, before we get into the channeling, is as maybe a reframe for you to maybe have a new perspective that'll allow you to start busting through this pattern of unworthiness, is to, first of all, get beyond all the dirty laundry stuff, right? Like look at every instance where you felt unworthy, working using processes to work through it. You can do that. I do it. That's helpful, but there is a way to transcend those things as well, like just clearing the energy. That's great, absolutely. And we can transcend it. There is a transcended path where we don't have to continue to labor at this. And so that's a space that we want to begin to more fully recognize so that we can increasingly live from that space. Otherwise, the pain body, will continues to have oxygen. It continues to have something. Ooh, you need clearings. You're going to have to keep clearing this stuff. You never finish products, so you're going to have to keep clearing. But is that true? I mean, is that deeply true? I feel my sacral chakra says no, it's not true. So the truth is we can be in a transcendent state from the conditioned self, or sense of dissolution of the conditioned self, and allow ourselves to enjoy presence itself, our just our fullness of who we are, and then to experience that just unfolding miraculously, beautifully, naturally into whatever it wants to evolve into, including intentions or visions that have come to you, seeming to be for you. Always with the idea of this or something better. You may be given a mosaic picture of, seeing yourself doing this big thing. And maybe it's not exactly that, but it's something that you need to be focused on to bring you into whatever it is you're meant to be serving. That's possible too, or maybe actually that thing. So we have to realize that it may or may not be the thing. When we feel like maybe I got too much stuff, who am I? I've got too much stuff, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not popular enough, I'm too different, or nobody gets what I have to share. I'm no good at marketing, I'm no good at sales, or I'm not nearly good enough, or I don't have enough experience, I don't have enough certifications, I don't have enough books written. It was only an Amazon bestseller. I only had one number one New York Times bestseller, whatever the case may be. Or yeah, I've helped like every transformational leader that's of significance over the last 30 years, but I'm not one of them, though. I'm not actually considered one of those very top names or whatever the case may be, because, y'all are different places and maybe listening. All of it doesn't matter, actually all that's all conditioned self stuff, right? So those stories really in the end just really don't matter what our stories are, right? Again, Byron Katie, who would you be without your story? We always want to come back to that and utilizing her work. Those of you not familiar with her, you can always look her up at thework.org, and you'll see her wonderful things there, including her 4 questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? How do you respond when you believe it in that idea that you keep having? And then the last one, who would you be without the thought? Or what would be possible for you if you didn't have that thought? So again, those are all ways of dealing with the conditioned self. Now, the orientation I'll give you before we finally get into the channeled messages for this episode is, so let's say you're talking to stadiums full of people and it feels like so much energy that might feel, if you're empathic, like most of my listeners are, might feel overwhelming. Like, I don't even know how I deal with that level of energy. And then the sense of responsibility. So the conditioned self of what you imagine the future would be like and what it would be like to be there, not only the sense of the elation and the fulfillment, but also the sense of the weight of it is there even when you're not paying attention to it. So in other words, it's sitting there, and it's like it's all part of feeling like I might not get it, on the unworthiness aspect. It's like I might not get it right. I might get arrows slung at me because I'm going to get something wrong, or people will perceive it wrong, or maybe I can't handle that level of responsibility. Maybe I'm not worthy of that level of responsibility. These are questions many of us have not asked ourselves. Am I, or been aware that the question even exists within ourselves, is what I'm trying to say. So am I worthy of, quote unquote, carrying that level of responsibility? It feels like a huge responsibility. But this again is conditioned self. It's a good question to ask if you feel you can trust yourself at that level. It's not a bad question. And if you go into transcendence, your transcendent self, your unlimited self, there's really no question. There's no issue. There's absolutely no issue. All you do is imagine what's coming to you, and you embrace it. This is something, is one of my core teachings is you must embrace all of it. So that you embrace, your infinite self wants to embrace everything because it naturally is. And you want to get aligned with your unlimited infinite self, then you would do well to embrace everything. So everything in each moment you're meant to embrace, in a sense of, well, man, it might feel a lot of weight doing that kind of work, at that level. Or that, what if I got it wrong? I got 50,000 people in the audience that want to sling arrows at me. Okay, that might not be pretty. But what if you were to transcend your fear and your sense of, maybe I'll get it wrong, maybe I'll be persecuted again like the past lives, maybe I'm not cut out for that, maybe I'm not worthy, maybe that's for someone else. I hope it happens if it's supposed to happen, but feels a little heavy. I think I'll step out this round, So Instead, you open up your heart and you step into the transcendent self, that where you just accept that this is your path and it is happening. And you keep progressively every moment, every day, you continue to make choices from that place. So given that I feel this is true, when you really claim that intention, what's the choice I'm making right now? It's such a simple thing. And certainly it's been shared before, but I think that we don't, it's not a heady thing. It's from presence, letting presence move you based on a vision that you have. Oh, this is my vision. This is what's wanting to happen. Given that's my vision, what's the choice I'm making right now that feels like it's moving me right into that direction, right into that manifestation, right into that scene. Knowing it's not even about getting to the scene. It's really not about that, but it's an orienting thing. Just like thoughts, we don't really have to have thoughts, but they happen anyway. We think we need all these, like what we consider thoughts, but there's an intelligence that runs us that is beyond what we consider to be thoughts. So when we operate at that level, or some people might call it the quantum, everything already exists, it's already happening. Now, as we just embrace everything that we want to unfold on our path, whatever it may be, we can let that happen. And the sense of the question of worthiness actually not even a point. It's not even an issue. This is where some spiritual, highly elevated, well-known spiritual teachers might say things like, self-love is really not even a thing once you get to a certain level of actualization. It's not really a point of consideration or focus, because you're just connected. You're transcendent. You're into the unlimited self. You may feel compassion and love for others, but in terms of the sense of, do I love myself, it would not be something you would comprehend. Whatever has happened in the past, if you've been accused of something, right? In this life, past life, you're to this, you're to that. Why did you do that? You screwed that up. All that just doesn't matter. We can dismantle it through the Byron Katie or do clearings and everything. But the most direct path is really just to sink into presence and be focused on what's wanting to happen. Knowing those things, yeah, we can do that stuff, that work if we want to. If we really feel we need to, yeah, absolutely. We have those tools, we have that choice. But if we really just stay focused on what it is that's wanting to happen, chances are it's going to synchro destiny is just going to unfold to let it happen, as long as you keep making choices in each moment from presence. In other words, let presence choose it, more or less. Presence guides, presence chooses, and we allow things to happen. And then it comes into our divine destiny for those things to happen with ease rather than dis-ease, which is why we would avoid it, right? So the thing you can trust, that is the worthiness you're really looking for, is presence itself. So really, that's what it always comes back to. Okay, so let's get some channeled messages. So don't keep you forever here with just talking about it in this way only. So, but let's do the channeled messages. So I know Master Jesus will come through. We'll see what other guides might come through. Probably be some brief messages. It might be longer. I don't know how long we'll want to. The transmission will want to go. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some vocal toning as I'm relaxing and tuning in to the frequencies, and I'll announce who each person is as they come on. Okay, you ready? Frequency is the key to not only your personal evolution, but to the world's evolution. Not making more money, not that alone, and yet that's be fully embraced. Not anything else, okay? Not any other trinkets, not any trinkets, not any ego goals. What we're looking for is transcendence. While we continue to embrace the fullness of this entire reality, knowing that that in itself is deepening us into the presence itself. And all the goodies of life are right there, right there. Let me do some vocal tone and we'll get some specific beings. Master Jesus, come back home with me. Take off your slippers. Come barefooted into the waters of the infinite. Ground yourself in these waters of the infinite. Drench yourself in them. For you're being re-baptized into the love and the unconditioned self. It's beyond all conceptions. Where the sense of worthiness always resides, because all is sufficient and all is infinitely well. From this place, deep in your hearts, deep in your soul, you know all is well. Play with me in these waters. Let me guide you. Let me take your hand. Let it be simple. Let it be easy. You are loved unconditionally, now and forever, and always. My love for you has no limits, for I am one with that sacred heart within. Limitless love. Dance, walk, drink, eat, play. Enjoy the full experience of this reality as you walk this earth, as I have done. There's a great feast. It's meant for you. That which calls to your hearts already is here now. Let it become your divine destiny by following the connected path within your heart, within your presence. Thank you. Archangel Michael, cut out the confusion. Be direct with what you know and what you feel. Pinpoint that which might create interference in your energy. Cut the cords energetically with my sword. Yes, dance and play with others that are leading the way for a feast of the divine, to play, to dance, to eat, to drink, to enjoy the full spectrum of this reality. Knowing the sense of this bugaboo energy, the voice that cries for help, but always thirsts. Can sit at the table in the banquet of unlimited love, unlimited abundance and fulfillment, and find its way back home. So when loved ones call to you near and far, their unquenchable thirst, simply bring them into your awareness, into this banquet of the unlimited feast. Invite them to have a seat. Release them to this feast. I mean, they're provided for. They're having exactly what it is they're ordering up. And let it be well as you continue to be clear and decisive about what's true for you, being your own frequency, owning your own true self. Be decisive, be clear. Yes, let it be easy because you're so clear what's true for you. Be honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. You are not confused. Your true self knows all now. And you have instant access to it at any time you truly desire it. Come back home. I'm here taking a stand for you, putting my sword into the ground as well. Calling in all the support to help you to be grounded, safe and protected energetically, simply when you call upon me. Let my sword be in the ground for you. As you let this into your awareness and into your energy, you are safe, you are well, you are protected. Let it be here within you, within your energy, your root chakra. So you are well. Stabilized, whole, and well. Experiencing your wellness, experiencing your divine destiny, experiencing the worthiness of the path that you walk, for it is truly well. Divine destiny unfold in your life for the higher good. Thank you. All right. Okay, that's all. It seems to be all that wants to come through this time. We got some it's either coming back into awareness if your eyes are closed. Allowing yourself to be back into awareness of being in the physical. And I'm grateful to share with you today. So really, if we could just again see that image of that sword in the ground, just even any sword, but knowing Archangel Michael's sword is in the ground for you to keep you safe, to keep you protected during, times right now when we may feel anxious, we may feel like we could be threatened or attacked. And knowing our deeper liberation is close at hand. Yeah. And we know it's all actually already here. So as we let this be so, it's already done. We get to just to continue to experience this. Keep choosing wisely. And as always, like I always say, keep on tuning it in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone. Goodbye for now.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.